Hello, my friends. How's everybody doing today? Hope everything's working okay. I decided to do a short live stream today on a Friday night because I was inspired by little YouTuber, Den of Nerds, Josh Lucas over there, who he said something today in a live stream that just kind of inspired me. It was upsetting to hear, but he was like, man, we got all this kind of different stuff going on in the Star Wars universe, and fans are just pissed, left, right, upside, and down. Now, I know that's not something that we're not used to, but he said, why can't we have a little bit more fun? Why can't we have a little bit more fun? Let's have a little bit more fun with these characters. And for some reason, it just kind of struck a chord with me when it came to the Star Wars fandom, where I'm feeling how a lot of people are feeling. And I don't want to be, I don't want to be giving off any wrong feelings as to how I feel about Star Wars, but I got to clarify on how I'm feeling on some of this stuff, because I do so many panels that have other people on it. Almost all of my live streams are with other people on it because I love to hear other people's perspective, but I don't really ever get a minute to like sit down and talk to you guys about how I'm feeling about this stuff. And it's been interesting. It's been very interesting watching what's going on with the news with Kenobi, all the stuff that's been pouring out about Mace Windu. The trailer came out for Kenobi. We've got some leaks for Mando Season 3, some really interesting things going on. And I haven't had a minute to just sit down and tell you how I'm feeling. How am I feeling about this stuff? So a lot of the fandom is riled up right now about this Kenobi thing. It's split right down the middle. As it always is, you got your Disney shills on one side, the positivity police, and then you got your grifters and your angry people on the left side, and everybody's screaming at each other. They're all pissed off. You messed up Matt Kenobi. No, you just don't like Disney Star Wars. It doesn't matter what they do. You're not going to like it. That's how it has been since the sequel trilogy came out. That's how it's always been. But I got to tell you something, okay? I got to tell you something about Kenobi. I've been hearing a lot of leaks about it. I've been hearing a lot of different things come out from a lot of different people, and I gotta tell you, right off the bat, if you're just hating on it because it's Disney, I get it, but I think you need to temper it back just a scotch. Now, it's not my place to tell you what to think, and if you're upset, you're peeved off just because you don't like Disney Star Wars, bro, I 100% understand how you feel. I get it. I mean, I've been there. I feel like all I've been is there for a long time, but I feel like this is a good step. This is a step in the right direction. Maybe not. You guys let me know in the chat if you feel like this is a right step or not. But for me, I think the stuff that I'm hearing that people are upset about now, look, I know the big one right now is the Grand Inquisitor looks like shit. I don't think there's any getting around that. Okay, the Grand Inquisitor just looks like shit, but that was the one thing that everybody picked out of the trailer. Look, if a practical effect on one dude doesn't look good, and that's the worst thing that we could pick out of the trailer, I feel like that's not that bad. You know what I mean? You got to count your blessings. And hey, I wanted to say hi. Let me say hi to the chat really quick here. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I'm glad to have you here, but I did have a friend show up today, somebody that I haven't had in the chat here yet. This is somebody that we're going to be working with, hopefully, on some charities pretty soon. Extreme Recon Army, hello, brother. I hope you are doing well today. Glad to see you. And I completely blew past an announcement I was supposed to make as soon as we started. We're going to be doing a live stream tomorrow morning with an actual Loader superfan. We finally got the whole thing together. We're going to be doing the live stream tomorrow talking about what's going on with Tolkien, why are fans upset about the Lord of the Rings deal. I'm super excited about that. We got that scheduled, so it's going to be 10 o'clock Pacific Standard, so it'll be 10 a.m. That's where I'm going to be talking about that, and I think you're going to want to meet this guy. I know him pretty well. I've known him for a long time, so now that I've gotten that out of my system, we got some interesting news today about Kenobi. Now, if you're somebody who's not interested in any kind of leak or any kind of insider scoop, look away, plug your ears, whatever you want to do. But this isn't anything that gives away any plot points or anything like that. We got a really cool piece of information from MakingStarWars.net today about the fight that we're going to be getting between Vader and Kenobi. Now, this was something that I fought against for a long time. I wasn't into it just because I felt like that line resonated, a presence I haven't felt since, right? And it was something I fought for a long time, but here's the deal. This is something we have to think about. We're moving forward in Star Wars. That's the bottom line. And there are a lot of people who were still saying, like, dude, this is, we have to recreate George Lucas Star Wars. And the bottom line is, unfortunately, George Lucas Star Wars is dead. I know this is a tough pill to swallow. This is going to hurt for all my people here in the live stream. You don't want to hear this. But George Lucas Star Wars is gone, brother. We're not getting it back. We're not getting it back. And as much as folks want to fight for, and I get that, we want to fight to preserve the legacy of George Lucas and his Star Wars, it ain't coming back, bro. This is Disney's deal now. And that's the bottom line. And it's not going to change. They can start to work out the kinks, I think, is what's going to happen. They're going to find out how to make Star Wars fans happy, but it's never going to be the same level of attention to detail that George Lucas had. Why? Because the guy was absolutely nuts. He was nuts. He was running from soundstage to soundstage, fucking taking his bike everywhere. Hey, like, hey, no, I don't like that. You change that yellow from slightly yellow to a little bit more yellow, and then I'm going to be happy. You know what I mean? We're not going to get that with Disney. They're going to do everything they can to try to make Star Wars fans happy, but they're also going to be... Oh, I should have put my alert box up. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible YouTuber. Hold on. Let me put my alert box up. There we go. Stick it right in the middle of the screen. There we go. Phil McCracken. Is this the first time you ever super chatted, Phil? Why are you super chatting here? You hate me. This is for you to get better internet. Hashtag failed batch. Am I lagging? Mrs. X-Wing's in there watching, dramas and shows. Things I won't watch. So I usually go live stream when she's watching The Bachelor and stuff like that, because I got no interest in that stuff. But I lost my damn train of thought, Phil McCracken. Where was I? Yes. We're not getting that. We're not getting that George Lucas good. We're not getting it anymore. But that doesn't mean that we can't have good Star Wars stories. That's the most important part, right? And so something that kind of, I got rogered earlier today because we were talking about Mace Windu coming back into Star Wars, and a lot of people are like, dude, let him die. Let the legacy characters die. I don't want to see it. Let them die. Let the George Lucas portion of it die. And while I get that sentiment 100%, I want to see this stuff come back. I want to see my characters that I love, and I want to see their stories told in a respectful way. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that's where a lot of the reservations or fans, where they're coming from, is that we seen Boba Fett really take a dig, dude. We saw Boba Fett take a dig. I have seen people defend the book of Boba Fett, and if they like it, great. But I'm going to tell you right now, I spoke to the biggest Boba file in the world. I'm telling you right now, the best thing he had to say about it was that it could have been worse. So that should tell you a little something about how things are going when it comes to legacy characters. But I think it's important that we loosen up a little bit as a fan base. A little bit, not too much. But I start hearing stuff about the Kenobi story. Yo, Extreme Recon Army. Welcome to Veteran Ace, my brother. Welcome to the veteran community. I appreciate it, man. Good to have you here. When it comes to Kenobi, I'm starting to hear stuff about people are pissed off that, and this is a minor spoiler here, that we're going to be having an adventure between Kenobi and Princess Leia instead of Kenobi and Luke. And this is something that Making Star Wars Net has been talking about, that fans are upset that we're not getting a Luke and an Obi-Wan adventure. Well, fans were pissed off first that Obi-Wan was even going to be leaving the planet. So when you really think about it, man, we got people who are pissed off that Kenobi's leaving the planet and they want to see a Luke Kenobi adventure. What kind of show are you gonna write? What kind of show are you gonna write about Luke Skywalker on Tatooine, bro? If anybody in the chat has something to say about what kind of a story we could tell about Luke Skywalker hanging out on Tatooine, playing with his T-16 and his pod racer, like how fun is that gonna be, right? Just Kenobi staring through his binoculars into the distance. I'm in the camp where I don't think that would be really an amazing show. That's just me. And beyond that, I think Luke needs a little bit of distance. I think Luke needs a little bit of time, baby. You know what I mean? Let that Luke simmer. Let him simmer. We just got him back. We got him back post Return of the Jedi. The dude was an absolute beast. He's amazing, right? We finally got the Luke that we were looking for. And, I mean, he still got hated by fans, which is just mind-blowing to me. I absolutely love seeing Luke back. But moving on. When it comes to who's been cast in the show of Kenobi, that's something else that I want to talk about, because what's the first thing that happened when we see Reva pop up on screen? I swear to Bob, I saw 15 thumbnails about diversity hires and a Black Inquisitor. Like, oh my God, that could never happen. It was a little frustrating for me, bro, because like, how long has it been since we had just finished Fallen Order, right? What did you guys think about Trilla? Did you enjoy Trilla as an Inquisitor? Did you think she was a bamf? I certainly thought she did, dude. And I really enjoyed her story. You know what I mean? And from what I've heard from the people who are in the know about the show is that we're going to get something very similar to Trilla's story for Reva, which personally I'm okay with. Now, the argument is that, hey, this story's already been told. Why are you just going to steal it and redo it for Kenobi? And for me, we have to ask how many people actually played that game. How many people played Fallen Order? I have a good friend of mine in the community, Scotty Hawks Holocrons. The dude hadn't even played the game yet. I don't even know if he's... Oh, no, he did get past the first level. He's met Trilla, but he doesn't know Trilla's story. You know what I mean? And this is somebody who's a Star Wars fan. So for me, I'm super okay with seeing that story retold. I think they can't do it tit for tat, but to use elements of that story, I mean, it makes sense. There would be Jedi that are around at this point in time that feel like they've been betrayed by the Jedi Order. Maybe there were some Jedi who felt like, you know, they kind of got duped by the homies, if you know what I mean. And they would turn around and go to the Inquisitors. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. They're going to have to tell that story however they see fit. That's not my place to judge, but I feel like it's a good way to bring her in. And when people are saying she's just not threatening, she's just not scary, dude, we haven't seen anything yet. Which kind of leads into what's going on with the Grand Inquisitor. So far as I know, that dude's not even a big part of the show. A little bit. He's in there a little bit, but he's not even a large driving factor in the show. We have Reva as a big bad, and then we move on to Vader, who's going to be the real big bad. Felicity Poobell donated 5 through a super. Star Wars fans have to accept they are Star Wars fans. Trying to control the fandom is a lost cause. Like what you like, dislike what you dislike. Yeah, 100%. And that's, you know, Felicity, that's the thing that's been driving me like mad lately, is that, and it is on both sides, and that's kind of where I'm at with the state of the fandom, is that, especially somebody who has to navigate the internet as much as I do and the people that I talk to, is that it's so bad on both sides, bro. Like, the mega shills are saying that if you don't like one small aspect of a show, you're not a Star Wars fan and you're toxic and you're trash and we hate you, which is just such bullshit. And then on the other side of it, you know, you have the just the angry people. And ever since Disney was bought out, Lucasfilm was bought out by Disney, it's been an issue since then that those people are not going to be happy with anything that comes out, period. And it is on both sides, and both sides think they can warp the fandom into thinking the way that they think, and it's It's never going to happen. But I think there is a middle ground. I think that people who really have a fighting chance are the people who are trying to help everybody see a middle ground where we can move forward and understand that this Star Wars is different. You can never devalue George's Star Wars because you can't go back and change it. You can try to add to it, and if you don't like that, that's fine. But I'm just saying, you can never take away those 6 movies. You can't. No matter what Disney does, they can never go back, and they can never change it. It's always going to be that way. I got to take a sip of. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm going to hit this chat real quick. See if we got anything interesting going on. Felicity, I see you. Spidey took off. No spoilers. I don't feel like that's a heavy spoiler for it. So what I was trying to get to, this is an article that came from makingstarwars.net, is that obviously Vader and Kenobi are going to fight. We've known this. KK threw that cat way out the bag before we were even getting close to anything. We knew that they were going to meet. But what we're getting is a little nod to Rebels. Apparently what's going to happen in the first fight is that Vader and Kenobi are going to be fighting, and we're going to get a little bit of that action where the mask gets blasted off, and we get to see Vader inside the mask, which is just an awesome callback to Rebels. Excuse me. Obviously, when we saw that fight between Ahsoka and Vader, and she kind of cracks that mask open, I think it's cool. It got me hyped to see something like that in live action. I think it's going to be great. But I guarantee tomorrow morning, somebody's going to catch wind of this. We're going to get a red eye thumbnail. Somebody's going to be like, bro, they're just stealing story elements from people who could tell it better. It's just kind of the way it goes. You know what I mean? And look, if that's the way you feel, I want you to do something for me, okay? You're going to hop on a flight. There's a 6 a.m. flight that leaves out of your town. You're going to go down to Chile, okay? You're going to take a bus to the base of a mountain called Oaxaca. Okay. At the base of that mountain, there is a small mountain village. It's called Kalenk. I want you to go to Kalenk. You're going to talk to Babu Sadi. She's the medicine woman of that village. You're going to hike up the mountain, sit at the top of that mountain, drink the tea she gives you, and just think about how fucking stupid you sound. You understand? Yeah. So, how should we be viewing Star Wars right now? You know what I mean? What should we be thinking? How should we be feeling? Well, that's up to the person. Honestly, man. That's up to the person how you want to feel about Star Wars. I just think, for me, I think my big come to Jesus moment is just understanding that George's Star Wars is gone. People are going to draw from that, but, you know, there are thousands of different art forms where stuff like that happens. You know what I mean? So look at this as kind of like a fun thing. That's the only way I can describe it. If you're somebody like me who's just a big George fan, you like George, you went into this Disney stuff, it doesn't feel like George, it doesn't feel like Star Wars. If it can't be viewed in a different lens, then I would say, yeah, dude, maybe yeah. Be the dude who gives up, be the girl who gives up on Star Wars, and I'm not gonna blame you. You know what I mean? This is something that's sacred to a lot of people. It's certainly sacred to me. And if it's something that you can't deal with, then yeah, dude, I would say, it's 100% okay to just kind of walk away from it, man. I mean, it's like dating a toxic girl. That's basically what I'm doing right now with Disney. I'm dating a toxic girl, and I'm kind of okay with it because she's pretty, if that makes sense. That's how I feel about Disney Star Wars right now. So I'm trying to view it in that lens. I'm okay with having some fun with this stuff, looking at some different aspects of Star Wars and seeing some different creators and what they want to try to do with the franchise. I say go ahead, 100%. And I think a lot of fans are complaining that we haven't seen a Star War, right? I mean, everything that we got in the OT and the prequels, there was a war going on. There was always a war going on. And a lot of the stuff that we've seen has been kind of small world building at this point, which I think a lot of people would say we should have been a little bit more grandiose, but if it had been bigger, I think a lot of people would be complaining that they didn't do enough world building or set people and set up the characters enough to really have motivations to have these big wars. So in my mind, when I'm looking at Mando season 3, you know, there's some stupid shit in there. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cuss, but there's gonna be some stupid shit in there. The leaks that have come out about what's going on with Grogu and the inevitable return of IG-11, not really something I'm super interested in. But there is a lot that I'm really looking forward to. I mean, we're talking about the mines, the living waters. We're talking about mythosaurs. We're talking about 70 some odd Mandalorians coming together in a big ass army and having a huge fight. That kind of stuff I'm super interested in. And I don't know that it would have had the emotional payoff if we hadn't have seen, you know, God rest its soul, Book of Boba Fett or Mando season 1 and 2. I think it does help to grow the characters in that way. Do I think they could have done it differently? Yeah, probably. I think Boba Fett was a real big misstep in my eyes. Now, if you look at the numbers, Book of Boba Fett is a slam dunk. Go on Google and look at the numbers for Book of Boba Fett. It's a slam dunk, baby. They're all high-fiving down at Lucasfilm right now, and the fans are sitting there scratching their heads like, what the hell is going on? And so that's something you have to take into account, is that there's always going to be the influence of whatever you want to call them, the muggles, the non-sweaties, the normies, who gobble that stuff up without really any comprehension as to what's actually going on and why this could be considered offensive to Star Wars fans. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. These are all things we have to take into account when we're looking at Star Wars. It's not just so simple as that, like, hey, bro, they don't understand me. Okay? This is trash. I'm never watching Star Wars again. There's a lot that goes into this stuff. And I had a conversation with a lady who's in the chat tonight, my friend Maria. Lucasfilm is listening. Lucasfilm is watching. They're listening. They're listening to YouTubers. They may not be in the chat talking about this stuff, but they do listen. They do listen. And I think there are a couple different aspects of Book of Boba Fett that we saw that were changed because of that. That's something I've been saying since the beginning. We saw some kind of weird stuff going on when it came to Boba coming out of the Sarlacc pit, and in the wrong order, Jabba's sail barge is smoking and not smoking and smoking and not smoking. It doesn't make sense. So they do sit and they listen to the sweaties because they know that this is the driving force for I would say, the core of their fan base. So if you're out there putting out a message about Star Wars, make sure it's a constructive message. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't have to be positive. There's only one shill on this planet I love to my heart. Okay, I guess there's two shills I love. I love Obsession and I love Star Wars Santa. That's my homies. You know what I mean? Hawks, I think he's a little more pliable than he leads on. I don't think he's quite as set in his ways as he says he is. But anyway, so really where I wanted to pop on, I wanted to talk to you guys so we're all kind of clear on where I'm at, where I'm sitting, how I'm feeling about this stuff. I want to get into the chat and kind of hear some of your guys' opinions about this stuff, because I feel like I had a come to Jesus moment the other day. It was a come to Jesus moment. Oh, George Lucas, be safe. I just felt like I wanted to turn a leaf and not just being, I'm fine being negative. I'm 100% fine being negative. If something sucks, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it's good if I don't think that it's good. But I'm also not going to lie to you and tell you that I think it's amazing if I think Disney's going to give me a pat on the back for it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to catch me doing that Star Cruiser stiff. But, as always, this is the Hangar Bay. You guys are my pilots. You're my homies. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Are you guys excited for Kenobi? Do you have fears? Do you have doubts? I should be pulling this stuff right now. You know what I mean? I should be polling, but I'm a terrible YouTuber. Chat, what do you guys think? Do you have one big concern about Kenobi? I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at you. I'm talking to you. What do you guys think? Phil McCracken's just in here talking shit to anybody who will listen. That's what he does. I'm just kidding. I love you, buddy. Strike says he's cautiously optimistic. Let's put it that way. So here's what I would say, Strike. I think that's a really good attitude to have. I think being cautiously optimistic going into Kenobi is a really good way to think about it, because here's the deal, man. This is going to go one of two ways. Matt Russman with a 1999. I'm going to hit that in just a second, Matt. I appreciate that. That was generous as hell. Thank you very much, my brother. I'm going to hit that. But cautiously optimistic is a good mindset to go into Kenobi, and I'm going to tell you why, because it's something I was listening to a real insider, right? Talking about this today on a live stream, so it's actually public domain and it's not insider knowledge at all. This is gonna go two ways. If you really liked Revenge of the Sith, this is gonna be a nice add-on for you, because it's gonna add to that story. Whereas if you didn't like Revenge of the Sith, this is gonna fill in some stuff that's gonna make you happy. So in my brain, everything that's been talked about, I think Kenobi is going to do a really good job of making everybody happy. And when I say everybody, I'm talking about the people that can be made happy, if that makes sense. The people that can be made happy will be made happy by this show. The thing that is just absolutely driving me nuts right now is that I see people out there saying, you know, Kenobi is in a bad spot when this show starts, and they're like, that's not what a Jedi is. Get on a Greyhound bus, go down to Florida, catch the first flight to St. Thomas. You can take a 15-minute bus from Cyril Lee King Airport down to Coki Beach. I want you to sink your toes in the sand, get a nice rum drink, and just think about how fucking stupid you sound right now. Yes, he's in a bad spot. Of course he's in a bad spot. Are you kidding me? I mean, the dude's been through everything. And then now he's stuck on Tatooine, working a day job, hates his life. He's like me, except he's fought like an epic war. You know what I mean? Just saying, like, I'm going to be okay with him being in a shitty spot, especially because we have to get from Revenge of the Sith, post-Revenge of the Sith Kenobi, to A New Hope Kenobi. And if he's just a New Hope Kenobi, how the hell are you going to tell a story with him? You know what I mean? There has to be some kind of an arc. So I'm just saying, think about your life. All right, Matt Rissman, my brother, with the 1999. Thank you so much. Long live the Empire. I guess I'm not on the list of fans X-Wing listens to, but I'm still right. Peace and love. You know I love you, dude. Get out of here. Thank you so much. The Grand Moff Rissman with $20. I appreciate that, man. I see a couple new people in the chat. Welcome. I hope you join the Hangar Bay. We got a fun Discord. All kinds of weird shit going on in there day to day. But, like I said, I knew that this show, Kenobi, was going to ruffle feathers right off the bat. And I knew that because my shilly friend, Obsession, was like, bro, if this guy leaves the planet, it's breaking canon. And I'm like, 100%. I remember looking way back in the day at some of the leaks that were coming out before Kenobi was barely even a whisper. And there were weird things about... I have so much positivity in me that sometimes it just needs to get out. You know what I mean? It's just got to get out. So I apologize for that. Yo, Recon Army with 10. You didn't have to do that, man. Thank you very much. Disney here. This is a payment to talk positive about us for 5 minutes. $10 ain't gonna cover that, bro. Not a chance. Oh, I lost my train of thought. I appreciate that, man. Recon Army, we're gonna get on a stream soon. We're gonna be talking about some stuff, some good stuff. There's a lot of good YouTubers who do a lot of good work, who I think would be 100% into what you're doing. I know I certainly am, so we'll be talking. But I remember early on in the Kenobi show, they were talking about the things that we were going to be seeing. Deborah Young! Donations are rolling in tonight. Holy cow, I got to refresh my chat. Hold on, because I lost everything. Debbie Young, Mama Bear. Super Bowl next year, for sure. Very hopeful. My fear is for my friends, the people on YouTube that I love and care about. Sometimes the small points that are obsessed over are what bring about the needless fears. Yeah, I think you're 100% right, Mama Bear. I wish I knew how to pull chats up when I was in Streamlabs. I don't know how to do it, so I just looked like a pompous ass YouTuber who never brings up any comments. But I agree 100%. It's the small things that people obsess over, unless it's a big thing, right? So if there was like a major glaring issue in the Kenobi trailer, nobody would have said anything, right? But since we got handsome Squidward frickin' Inquisitor, and look, here's the deal, to qualm anybody's fears who's worried about the Grand Inquisitor, I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna be that big of a deal on the show. I don't think he's gonna be that big of a deal, because I think it would be a detriment to the character to involve the Grand Inquisitor too much if we know he's gonna survive, right? He's clearly gonna survive. So is the fifth brother. We know the fifth brother's gonna survive. So I would say limit their exposure. Limit their exposure. It's pretty hard to mess up Vader unless you just make him like a dainty running through the flowers guy. Probably wouldn't do that. I don't think Disney's gonna do that, but you never know. I forgot what I was talking about before that. Son of a biscuit eating booger. I don't remember. Have you ever had a dream when you I don't even remember what the hell I was talking about. This is the problem being a YouTuber, man. You look at the chat for a minute, you get on another train of thought when it comes to super chats. Oh, that's right. I was talking about Star Wars. Thanks, Strike. Damn. Almost lost my train of thought. Yeah, so when I feel like Joe Biden right now. Where am I? When it comes to how this thing is going to play out, look, like I said, I think it's going to be a happy thing for a lot of people. Having said that, I think more hardcore fans are going to be happy with Andor. Now, Andor is not something that I dig into a lot. I've had a thought process that has seemed to align with other people who have been involved with Andor. And the reason I say that is because Andor is going to take much more of a Rogue One approach to Star Wars. And I think that goes along with cinematography, characters, storytelling, everything that we got in Rogue One, which is absolutely my favorite movie past the 6. And so for me, I think Andor is going to slap in a lot of ways that people don't expect it to. And something I don't understand from the fan base is everybody saying, look, I don't give a shit about Andor. Why would I care about Cassian Andor? I think it's more important that people look at what's going on during Andor, right? This is a very important time for Star Wars, and I think we're going to see a lot of people that we have been dying to see, a lot of people that we want to see in Star Wars. We're going to see that in Andor. So take that for whatever you want. I don't know what that means. You know, if you look into it, whatever. Risman for $4.99. Chopper is going to be in Andor. I want Andor now. Risman just loves Rebels. Risman just loves Rebels so much. When you see that little scene, Kenobi slashes that helmet off, he's going to pee his pants. He's going to pee his pants, folks. All right, well, this was a little bit of a test drive for something I think I want to do every week. I haven't done solo streams with you guys nearly enough. I should be doing this with you, every other day. I haven't been, so I apologize. I want to spend a little bit more time with my community, talking to you guys about what is going on. There's going to be news. There's going to be, leaks and this kind of stuff. So I don't really have a plan so much, but we're going to do it. And if it's just me coming out on a Friday, yelling at you guys about thinking about your life and how stupid you sound when you're talking about diversity. No, I'm just kidding. I just want to have fun with you guys. I want to hang out. I'm enjoying this. It's nice to be able to talk because, I feel like a lot of times we don't really, I don't really get the time to tell you guys how I'm feeling about stuff because I'm listening to somebody else. So I'm going to do this more. I'm going to do this more. I'm going to hang out with you guys. I want to hang out with the community. I appreciate everybody showing up today. I know it was a short one. We only ran about 45 minutes, but I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Take a minute to I'm not telling you to be positive about Disney. Okay? I'm not telling you to be a shill. I'm not telling you that you gotta go out and read the High Republic tomorrow. I'm just saying, maybe take a minute, sit down, and think about how we're viewing Star Wars, right? Maybe not so much what we're pissed about or what we're happy about, but how we're viewing it and understanding that this is a change. It's like leaving your hometown in 6th grade and you got to go to a new school and you're like, fuck, I don't understand how any of this works, right? Everything is done differently. Cafeteria looks different. Everybody smells like fucking cabbage. You know what I mean? Does it sound like I'm talking from personal experience? Because I don't know. I'm ending this stream. I love you guys. Have a wonderful and safe Friday night. I will see you again tomorrow morning. We are going to be talking with a very handsome individual about Lord of the Rings and what's going on, why people are upset from an actual Lord of the Rings superfan. It's the first time we're going real off-brand on X-Wing, but expect more of it. So I hope everybody has a good night. I love y'all. We'll see you next time, all right? Peace. Am I that dumb? I didn't put any closing music on my frickin' ending screen? What kind of idiot doesn't put music on his closing screen? Man, don't ever let me be professional at YouTube. This is just wow.